Exactly. So.
But again, you speak about dikes being built in Lagos and power, it's getting to a point where, because I know, for example, there are cities in the world that are built extremely on water. Take the Netherlands, for example.
Yeah.
Yet they don't have flooding.
Yeah.
So Lagos really shouldn't, Lagos is not flooding because it's in a wetland, but it's flooding because the right things haven't been done.
Yeah. Yes. Like, you have very challenging terrains, like in the Netherlands, like you just mentioned, in Florida, these are low-lying areas. But then, it comes with, okay, how do we meet with this challenge? Like, there are some places, for example, in Lekki, that are already built on low terrains, some that's VGC and the likes. So, I mean, you're not going to chase everybody out. How do you solve that problem? So we need to think beyond just the regular canals. We need to start thinking pumping stations. But then the issue of power, kicks in.
What about solar?
Yeah, I mean, solar. But then to generate high capacity solar power, you need a large expanse of space. Here is choice land. Real estate is very expensive. So where do you put the solar that can, that can actually power such? But then there are creative ways to this. In California, for example, people use their roof to generate power. Part of it they use.
This thing you're talking about is a government thing. It's not an individual thing. It's government that needs to build such things, isn't it?
Well, yeah, some of these things are municipalities. What I mean is they are township in nature. It's not just an individual that it affects. So, and it's very difficult to get just people outside the government to do the right thing. So sometimes the government has to come in like a mediator and help to actually harmonize and solve this problem.
Shouldn't the government be the ones building these dikes, these powered pumps, or these, whatever it is you're suggesting? Shouldn't the government be thinking of going away from canals, or even doing simple things like at least clearing those canals?
Yeah, of course, government can come in at that level and help to actually create these things and solve the problems.
So if you were going to provide a solution, for example, let's extrapolate this. It's beyond just this. It's a human thing. Yeah. It's a knowledge thing. It's like, it's not just Lagos that we're talking about here. What do you think about people's attitude to governance and to making the right things happen? That should change.
Yes. Well, first, I think we need to realize that, first, infrastructure is a lot more than roads. It's a lot more than, there's a whole lot, that would help us to live in a sane environment. So I think at the government level, we should put more attention in the whole, let me say, the whole set of infrastructure that would help us to live as optimal as possible.
What's that infrastructure?
Like I said, road is part of it, drainage is part of it, septic waste is part of it, power, everything should be done holistically, not in isolation.
Well, we have very brilliant people, so why haven't we been doing this right?
We actually have been doing it.
Oh,
sometimes,
really?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we have been doing it. Sometimes they're done in isolation. There's a design for roads, sometimes some design for wastewater plan, separately. So bringing all this together into one place, I think sometimes is the challenge.
So what do you think the future for a place like Lagos is when it comes to floods? We should be scared of water because the climate change is affecting, does it have anything to do with what happened last time, for example?
Oh, yeah.
Because we've been having rain, so why was this one different?
Yes, the climate change, I believe, is also part of it. The reason being that what brings forth flood is rainfall. And rainfall comes from the sky. And sometimes you have more flood because you have more rainfall. Now, studies are being carried out by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, and they have data. And sometimes some of this data show spikes in the amount of rainfall. So you could have challenges based on those sudden spikes. But then we need to put things in place to ensure that when those spikes come, they do not destroy lives and properties.
Like it happens, everybody's gone back to sleep now.
Exactly.
Lagos is dry, the rains are not here.
Exactly.
Hopefully the rain will be less next year, but chances are it is going to be higher, so it's going to be worse. So what would be your final words? And I want you to make an appeal here to both government and to the people as we close the show today, so that it's not like we've just talked for nothing.
Okay. Oh, well.
Do you work for government, by the way?
Yes, my company is involved in a number of projects
So we should be holding people like you responsible too for doing the wrong thing, eh?
We try as much as possible to do the right thing.
Okay, so let's sign out.
Okay, so, well, I'll actually like to appeal to the government to actually be more proactive in its attention to duties as regards, especially infrastructure, since that's what we're discussing right now. We might need to provide some of these things far before people get into such regions. Is
that possible in Lagos?
Yeah, it's possible. Though some of the challenges might be funding, but then, you know, there are different ways of sourcing finances for infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so...
Then to the people?
To the people, I think we should be more responsive. I mean, we shouldn't stop, you know, disposing waste and the likes into our environment, for example. And also, as builders, we should be more responsive, not closing canals. Some people build with and close up space meant for waterways. You know, those are things.
And I think what's key is government monitoring. Because, for example, I live in a place building is still going on. Yeah. A builder is building, there's a drain, he puts sand on it, he doesn't care what's going in, and he's an educated person.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it's a human problem. We must all realize that we have responsibilities to ourselves, to our community, and to governance. But for me, when I say thank you for coming on the show,
thank you very much, ma'am.
I would say that it's important that we realize that we elect the right leaders, shine our eyes when we're electing leaders, and know that they're addressing problems that actually affect us.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, Engineer Desmond, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
At very short notice. I mean, I like people like you, very responsive.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you for watching. That's been Seriously Speaking for today. Please be serious about your environment and be serious about those you elect as your leaders, because somehow it will bite you if you don't do it right. See you next week.